Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this episode of 4-Point Pathways. I'm Eric Stevens. Today, I'm going to talk about digital asset management. And I've talked about this in the past in light terms, and I want to dive into it a little bit more. And what I really want to do is give you some insight into the potentials for digital asset management, for those of you who don't have it, the challenges that many organizations face around assets, and what you need to do when you're thinking about moving to a full-fledged digital asset management solution. There are a lot of different solutions out there, and I want to talk about what they involve, what those solutions are, what they provide, why you should be considering it, and then the mechanisms to get there. So when we talk about a digital asset management solution, it is more than just a repository for your graphics and images. It is a mechanism whereby you can more effectively manage, share, and use all of those assets. And when we talk about the assets, what we mean is content. We mean raw objects associated with different forms, for example, or web pages. We mean the graphical elements, certainly the pictures and things like that. We mean videos. We mean all of the different types of information that you might put on a web page, in a form, in documents that you might deliver, all of those different pieces. And they can be including things like stuff that I'm using for branding, stuff that I'm using for products, boxes, all of those different pieces. Anything where you need to manage who can access it, how they find it, and the life cycle associated with it. So digital asset management tools give you the ability to do this management, but they give you more than just the finding of it and the organizational pieces to it. Many of them give you multiple different kinds of process automation, of workflows. And two of the major ones that digital asset management solutions provide that are extremely powerful and extremely effective is approval processes and automation in terms of manipulation of the images. So from an automation and approval perspective, it's when I go to make a change to an image, for example, and I need various people in the marketing department to approve it. What we can do is use the digital asset management solution to route that around to the people and get that approval. That can be linked to a project management solution like Adobe Workfront or something like that, which is more about managing the entire project, but it could be part of that, or it can be independent inside of the DAM, inside of the digital asset management solution, where we're routing that around so that we know this is the new version. The other thing that that does, though, is say, this is the new version and puts the old ones away, so that when somebody goes and finds this approved version, they get the right version. They always get the right version. Think about it from a logo perspective. You always want people using the right logo. That leads us to the second piece, which is the automation of standard activities that graphic artists or videographers or even content folks would do around the assets that are going in there. And the classic example is around imagery. So when I have this new nice visual image, a logo perhaps, and we've approved it and everything is wonderful with it, but I need it in various sizes and resolutions. I need a thumbnail of it. I need it for small screen for mobile devices. I need it in medium screen and small size for web pages. I need it in large formats and high resolution for print output. And I need a very, very, very high resolution, large one that's used for high resolutions graphics and billboards and things like that. So you've got these different sizes that you need. So what we want to do is create a workflow mechanism that automatically does all of those for you, that automatically produces all of the different resolutions, all of the different pieces that you need for all of those environments. So what that does is means that now anyone who needs something for the mobile device, a developer, they know exactly where to go. Anyone who needs something for the website, they know exactly where to go. And they get exactly the correct resolution that the graphic artist and that the marketing department or the agency, they worked out. So That's the kind of things that we want to do. And those tools can do a lot more than just that. In the case of the Adobe asset management solution, they use artificial intelligence to actually do something called intelligent cropping, that it'll go into an image and you can actually run it through the AI that will go, oh, this is the shirt, these are the pants, these are the shoes, this is the whole image of the person, this is the whole image with the background. So it could do a lot of really, really sophisticated, powerful stuff. And what that does is it reduces the effort for the graphic designer to make all of those different variations. And some of those can even be done on the fly in the content side of things. But that's a combination between assets and a web content management solution. But the other thing that we can do when we've got these assets in there is apply what we call metadata to it, tagging, information about it. And some of the information is stored in there, the resolution, the size, the physical size, color depth, and all of those kinds of things. But often it's, what is this thing? So that people can find, I need an image of a person on a video call with a brown bookcase behind them and pictures on the wall. Oh, okay. So now you can do that. You could go in and type for each of your images, for each of your graphics, each of your videos, you could type in all this information. And some of it you should, because it's organizational, it's regional. It might be specific to your business. Use this in insurance, use this in banking, whatever it is, okay? All of those. But the other thing is there's a lot of now AI tools being built into the digital asset management solutions that automatically do that. They look at the image, they use AI to recognize it and go, oh, that is a male, Caucasian, with a brown bookcase in an office setting. And now it's automatically tagged for you. So now we're getting this combination of manually introduced information, tagging, and these automatic tags that are being applied. This allows people who are looking for things inside of the asset management to find them more effectively. This gives you tremendous search power. Now, when we do the search power, we want powerful capabilities for our graphic artists, powerful capabilities for our agencies to find things, for our content people to find things. And then we want an externalized portal that makes it easier for our business people to find things, so that when they're looking for a particular image, they can find it so that they can put it into their PowerPoint presentation that they're going to do with a specific customer. And they're using standardized branding. That also allows you to do things like, well, this image is a paid for image, but this image is a free image. So the free image, I'll let the business use. The paid for image we'll use only on the website, and control that. Also gives you the ability to go, where was this image used? Who downloaded this image? Where is it placed on my web content? Okay. What documents was it used in? All of those kinds of things. So a lot of power there. Now, that's great. So that you say, okay, Eric, love that. Okay, I'm really interested in a solution like this, but I've got all my stuff over here and it's in Dropbox, SharePoint, that server over there tucked in the corner. Okay, how do I get that content lifted up and put into it? And the way we do that is really a multi-step process. The first thing we do is we sit down and we go, okay, what does the taxonomy look like for you? And the taxonomy is that hierarchy of folders and metadata, the tagging, the information you need to keep track of, the kinds of data that you're going to have in there, the kinds of content, how much video do you have, what graphics, is it all PNG or JPEG, do you mix and match, do you need different variants? We're going to lay out what that taxonomy looks like. We're going to lay out what the workflows look like. What workflows do you need associated with it? Once we've understood that taxonomy, now we understand what fields need to be identified. So then we're going to go look at your raw content in whatever place it's stored right now, which could be on everybody's local system, and we want to pull it all in one place. All of that's possible. I want to say, okay, now we have to create for this file, what is the fields that we want to enter? Do we want to let the AI do the tagging? Yes, we do. Okay, that's great. But I need to know what business this is used for, what region this is used for, whatever it is. So now we create a file that fills that out. And then what we do is we write a custom program that takes your content from wherever it is, SharePoint, Dropbox, that server over there, picks it up, grabs the associated metadata, and inserts it into the taxonomy that we've created inside the digital asset management solution so that it just appears there. Now it can be searched for, now it can be run, the workflows are run, all of that process. That's what's called an extract, transform, and load. This is a standard computing technology, a standard mechanism, a process that we use. It's what's called a pattern. And an ETL pattern is get the thing that I want, figure out how I have to manipulate it to insert it, and load it where it has to go. And that's what you do. So first you define the taxonomy associated with it. Then we're going to write a piece of code that's going to extract the files and insert them. And then we run the code. And then we just validate that everything's fine. And then you're good to go. And everything's set up and it's all available to you, easily searchable by you, your people, your graphics artists, or the external folks, your business folks, other agencies, partners. All of those kinds of things can be done. Digital asset management is an incredibly powerful tool, not just for marketing people, but for marketing people, for the developers, for the business people, for the salespeople, because it ensures that everyone is using the right asset, the right piece of content, and that they can find it easily, that nobody loses it. There's always one essential source of truth for all of that information, and it can expand beyond just legal or just marketing. So we talk about it as a digital asset graphics, but think about content too. Think about that legal term that has to show up on every document, every PowerPoint presentation, and you want to make sure that the salespeople include that. What does a forward-looking statement slide look like? Instead of making sure that everybody modified it, why don't you have them drag it out of the asset repository where it had an approval process that went through your internal corporate governance? So there's a lot of power and capabilities you can use that are beyond just the marketing team, beyond just the visual imagery, that you can use it for a wide range of different corporate governance aspects. So that's the story associated with digital asset management and how you get from where you are today, whether it on a file system or some shared environment, into a proper repository, how we transition you through that and what you can do with it. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you the next time.